Nikki Bush, creative parenting expert. And Nikki, a very good morning to you. Thanks very much for your time. First, an obvious question has to be, what is a creative parenting expert?
Thanks, Gareth. Well, essentially, we're living in such an exponentially changing world that parents need to creatively respond to the changes that are coming their way and their children's way. Because we are the first generation of parents who know for sure that we don't know what the future holds for our children.
Generation Y, for example.
Yes. I mean, things are changing so much. Careers are dying, industries are declining, new jobs are coming to the fore. We are living in a time where there is going to be convergence of many new industries that are coming down the line that are currently in the research and development phase at the moment.
Now, let's just take a look at some of the stats and figures as well. I'm going to bring up unemployable figures in just a moment. When it comes to getting a job for a child who's going through primary education, higher education, what role does a parent have? I asked the question knowing as well that many children are coming from single-parent homes. Parents need to be working. They aren't around for the academics, perhaps as they were when Generation X was around.
Sure. Well, essentially, the parent still remains the primary educator. It doesn't matter where you send your children to school. You can pay the top dollar for the best schools possible, and that today will no longer guarantee you a job.
Well, in fact, we're actually seeing that now. 75% of unemployed people under the age of 35. Now, 70% of those have never had a first-time job. Now, Nikki, do you suppose that's... My parents did it to me, to push you to go out and get even a part-time job. Are we seeing less involvement from parents in pushing their children to go out and get a first-time job, just to get them into the market?
Well, I think we're seeing a big trend of children staying at home for a lot longer. And a lot of young people are staying at home until their early 30s.
Right.
And they keep studying and studying because it's getting harder and harder to find a job. We are looking at a generation for whom 60% of the jobs that they will do haven't yet been invented.
And as far as the role that parents can actually take, what's the ratio between parents' responsibility and children's responsibility? These days, there's so much information available to youngsters, Generation Y, as you call them as well. What can parents actually do to influence that?
Can I reframe that a little bit? We think our children spend a lot of time at school. And from birth to the age of 18, they actually only spend 14% of their time in the classroom. I think that shows you the percentage of time that we have to influence our children's future. I think that one of the mistakes we're making as parents today is we're keeping our children in this happiness bubble. We're helicopter parenting our children. We're trying not to let them feel much pain. And that doesn't really serve our children in terms of developing the X factor for success. And in Future Proof Your Child, the book that I wrote with Dr. Graham Codrington, we talk about the 5 X factors for success, being resilience, being creativity and thinking outside the box, teamwork, relating to other people, knowing yourself really, really well, and loving learning. So we need to help our children to be resilient. Most of them will probably land up being entrepreneurs. So what can a parent do to help their child, to prepare their child for the future, is develop those X factors for success in their children, because employers of the future are going to require more than just good grades.
And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. It is this gap between Generation X and Generation Y, the expectations from both. Nikki Bush, for the moment, a creative parent expert. I'm going to say thank you for the moment. We'll be talking to Nikki again in a moment, also getting a tertiary education perspective. But first, is matric enough? Professor Cobus Maria from the Educational Psychology Department at the University of Pretoria is also with us. Challenges that South African learners face as they enter the job market. We'll explore that with the professor in just a moment.